Hey everybody, and thank you for doing your daily sign-in into the world of video games. Today we're gonna be discussing the next generation Mass Effect tease, well, at least the next Mass Effect. Then Cyberpunk 2077 bringing a little bit of nostalgia back, as you may need more than one disc to actually play the video game. And then Twitch implementing pay to win. That and more on your daily sign-in. Alright, buds, let's get started with the first piece of news, shall we? So Mass Effect, that's a game that I hold very dearly in my heart. I really enjoyed the trilogy. I never expected that game to grab me, but as soon as I started playing the first one, it's like, okay, I see where you're going. Then Mass Effect 2 completely blew my mind, and Mass Effect 3, put the ending aside, it was a great game to end the trilogy. So now we get a little bit of news regarding Mass Effect. It seems to be coming back now that we, first of all, as you see on the trailer, if you're watching this on YouTube, that we have the next generation or the legendary edition of Mass Effect coming out spring 2021. So that's going to be awesome. We are going to get to relive all our favorite moments from the space saga. But we also got a few image teases for what is going to be the actual next Mass Effect. Not a remake, not nothing, not Andromeda. Oh no. The actual next game. Now let's talk about this. This comes from Tom Phillips all over at Eurogamer. Bioware's next Mass Effect project has been glimpsed again in 3 new pieces of artwork which has been posted online. The images come from the newly released Bioware Stories and Secrets from 25 Years of Game Development coffee table book, which were then posted on Tumblr. Bioware's trio of teasing images includes the same Mud Skipper spaceship that it's in the first tease for the next Mass Effect game, released earlier this month on the franchise's annual N7 day. Okay, so all the images are going to be in the description below, so if you want to go check it out, it's on the story. But essentially, we got a few images regarding what seems to be a little bit of a tease towards what more Andromeda. One of the pictures show a silhouette, like the inclusion of an Andromeda, Native, and Garen. So that means we can potentially go back to the Andromeda. It would make sense. I personally didn't play Andromeda based on all the drama and everything that was going on, and I didn't want to model the taste that I had for Mass Effect, given that I had such a great time with the trilogy itself. So I got to play the first 3. I didn't touch Andromeda, but obviously, given that they started that path towards the next, that will be what would be the next Mass Effect. And there seems to be a lot of players saying that there were a lot of stories that were not concluded and a lot of things that will build up for the next Mass Effect. So it would make sense to go back there, whether or not Bioware wants to relive that story within Andromeda, given all the negative I wouldn't say just negative press, but negative feedback that they got from players regarding it. We are only here. We will find out soon, I guess. Finally, the last image, which I found fascinating. This image shows the construction of a new mass relay, which is basically a new. If you don't know what a mass relay is, it's like a big ship that allows you to use it to travel across the galaxy, essentially across the Milky Way on the original trilogy. And the one picture, if you look at it when you're watching this, it's labeled MR7. So I'm guessing that's like, oh, there's gonna be more being there. Whether we're gonna be in Andromeda, whether we're gonna be in the Milky Way, we don't know. And the images are very blurry. So again, there's still a lot that we don't know about it, but it's exciting to figure out and just think about what the next Mass Effect is going to be like. I really hope that not only now, given that they're basically remastering, that's the right word for this, since they're just up-pressing everything and up bringing the experience from the original trilogy. I hope that they look back and they get the sense of, okay, this is what people enjoyed, and hopefully learn from some of the Mass Effect, the Andromeda feedback that they received. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm very much looking forward to playing the Legendary Edition, and much more play the next Mass Effect when it actually comes out. All right, but moving on from the space exploration to a cyberpunk world, let's talk about the fact that Cyberpunk 2077 would similarly be 70 gigabytes minimum on PS4 and comes in on 2 discs. This comes from Joe Scribbles all over at IGN. Similarly, leaked packaging appears to show that Cyberpunk 2077 will come at a minimum of 70 gigabytes on PS4, with its physical edition arriving with 2 discs. Images that appear to be a PS4 editions have been posted by a Reddit user, Mikey Morphin. Obviously, Reddit. This is speculation. Similarly leaked. Do we know if it's true or not? We're about to find out pretty soon. It's almost December 10. We can only wait. But the fact that now we are able to we need 2 essentially Blu-ray discs to experience this game shows you how big this game is actually going to be data-wise. Not only world-wise, we already had a sense of how big the world is going to be, but at the same time, just looking at how big the package is, kind of hints, in my opinion, at one of the problems that next generation might potentially have, and is data sizes. Now, towards the late generation of PS4, we got Modern Warfare, the classic example, with Warzone taking over. In the PS4, I'm not entirely sure because I played it on PC, but taking over 125 gigabytes is crazy. Now, Cold War allow you to install just separate packages, meaning if you just wanted to play the multiplayer, you can install that, and the zombies, you can install that and leave the campaign out. That's what you wanted. Up to you, so you can configure it. But games are becoming larger and larger as they come along. So is that something that we're gonna have run troubles with? Remember the old days where we had to buy memory cards to save our data and all that sort of stuff? I wonder now. Obviously, we're not gonna have what is called "quote unquote" memory cards, but at the same time, we may have external hard drives, and that's something that we may have in there. Obviously, you can delete and download games, but obviously that depends on your own data cap. And there's some games that you may not want to even uninstall, given that there's a lot of games as a service. And there's things that you may want to, for example, if I'm playing Genshin Impact at the moment, and that's something that I try to go in daily to do my quests and to figure out what the events are going to be. It's not like I'm going to play it for hours on a particular day, but it's something that I want to keep coming back to. That's not something that I want to delete. And if there's a couple more games that are like that, for example, Modern Warfare, if I want to just jump in and play with friends, I don't want to have to download everything over and over again. So hopefully that's something that we can take a look at to see if it's whether it is the next future of buying external hard drives for you. Now, is that a problem that you run into the PS4? Let me know, or the Xbox One X. Please let me know. Obviously, you can let me know by writing on the description, on the comments, or just by joining the Discord, which is in the description. All right. So now let's talk a little bit about the next generation, shall we? And this is Sony saying, Sony reportedly discussed increasing game prices above $70. That was a news item that we covered a few days back when we did the daily sign-in, and I just wanted it to bring it over again since it's not really true anymore. So it was allegedly that this was something that Sony was doing, but it's not something. And then they come back, they actually talked about it, and Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO Jim Ryans has called reports for the company previously discussed raising prices beyond $70 categorically. Thank you. False, but didn't rule out further rises in the future. This is coming from IGN by Wesley LeBlanc. Speaking to the Telegraph, Ryan was asked about Bloomberg's report, replying, "I can say that the report that we were considering higher prices for first-party games is categorically false." I don't have much to say about that. We already discussed the fact that games are becoming very expensive for the average consumer. Obviously, if you're a player, you want the games to be as cheap as possible, but also developers, like, games are becoming very, very expensive to develop. That's all I'm gonna say. Finding the right balance there is a hard thing to do, and a higher and harder thing to do for financial officers, CFOs. I think that's what they call them. Now let's talk about the recent the recent news item occurring on the Twitch world, which is essentially streamers right now are baffled by the new Twitch option to buy affiliate status. This comes from Nathan Grayson over at Kotaku. The latter portion of 2020s has been categorized by two seismic shifts: a big push to make money off ads and deals, and creator-unfriendly capitulation of the to the music industry. Obviously, what that means, we had a lot of talks before about the DMCA status of Twitch, whether a lot of high profile influencers or Twitch streamers essentially have been getting a lot of their basically strikes against their content and had to delete their entire bots and clips, which is a lot of their hard work done throughout the years. And that will obviously brought a lot of talk and speculations from the industry whether or not that was fair for everybody. Whether or not it's fair, that is not for me to say, but this is something that I have a very strong opinion on too. So the company's later announcements a deal with music label Monstercat that allows streamers to purchase affiliate status instead of earning it combines both. So Monstercat outlined the new program in a post on its website today, which you can find in the description below, or on the post from Kotaku, since it's also in the description. If streamers subscribe to Monstercat Gold for $5 per month, they now gain access not only to a library of songs they can play during their streams, but also to Twitch affiliate status. For those of you who don't know, by the way, Twitch affiliate is basically the first wall for creators to start charging for their content. You get the ability for people to actually donate, pay you bits, which is like the Twitch currency that they use, and also get subscriptions on your channel. Right now, as you know, it's All Fun and Games channel over at Twitch is an affiliate, so we actually achieved that. The barrier upon itself doesn't seem too big. Essentially, you need to have at least 50 followers, 500 total minutes broadcast, and an average of 3 or more concurrent viewers, and be streaming more 7 different days. That upon itself doesn't seem too much, especially if you're trying to actually make this a next creation. And for given the amount of streamers that are out there and the competition, it's difficult for a lot of people to actually achieve. Now, given now that you are able to pay that amount of money to basically surpass that barrier, brings up the question, Lane, what about the people that actually had to go and grow organically or put up the hard work to actually put past the barrier, essentially, to make it to affiliate on a more hardworking and realistic manner? So that obviously is kind of a backhanded to all those people that actually put up the work. At the same time, there's also a lot of other shady ways that you can actually do this, obviously by buying viewers and all this sort of stuff that people kind of take advantage of you, of your passion to create content. So keep an eye out for that. I don't like the fact that they're doing this. Obviously, this barrier is a pseudo barrier put up by the company themselves. It's not something that, for example, if you're going to do this but on a paywall, is that something that you can just remove the barrier altogether and anybody that streams has the ability to at least get subscribers, all the bits and the currency that they got? That seems like a little bit of a nightmare on the Twitch end, given the amount of content creators that there may be. But at the same time, I don't feel like it's fair for the people that actually put up the work to actually get that affiliate status. Whether it just, since, for example, on this channel, we had to do it organically. I want to make sure that whoever actually goes in and tries to do this is very passionate about their content. Now, there obviously, because of there's other ways of shadiness, how do you balance that? How do you know if you got it the right way or the wrong way? That is not for me to decide. But let me know what you think. Like, if you are a content creator, or if that's something that you aspire to be one day, is that something that you find a little bit shady? It's almost like, that's what I mean. It's almost like a pay to win, pay to break that barrier. At the very least, being a partner still has that barrier. There's no way to buy partnership, because that would be next level crazy too. Especially because partnership has a higher level for sure to get partnered there. I personally do not haven't achieved that barrier yet, or this channel hasn't achieved that barrier. Hopefully one day soon. But in the last piece of news that we got for you today, let's talk about Immortal Phoenix Rising. So this game is essentially, people compare it as the Breath of the Wild experience from Ubisoft, obviously combined with Greek mythology. As you can see, if you're watching this on YouTube, the trailer, the gameplay trailer that they're showing, it has a very particular art style. More closely to me, in my eyes at least, it looks more like Fortnite. But obviously, the landscape and everything that you see over there, it's very Breath of the Wild-ish. The game itself is coming out December 3rd. It's coming out pretty soon, but it already has a bunch of DLC planned for it. A bunch of basically season passes, as you may call it. This comes from Destructoid by Brett Makedonsky. Essentially, they have a few three story-driven DLCs already called A New God, Myths of the Eastern Realm, and The Lost Gods, and the 3 expansions are boosted already by a $40 season pass. So that means that Ubisoft has a lot of faith on this franchise, because the other ones that do something similar are the big heavy hitters like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watch Dogs Legion. So obviously Ubisoft really wants this to be successful, and it has enough faith in it for it to say, okay, yeah, people might want to try to buy the season pass for this. Whether or not it turns out to be good, I guess we'll find out soon on December 3rd. Obviously, being a Breath of the Wild fan myself, I will try this out. It looks interesting. I just hope that it doesn't have the collectathon icon searching mechanic that basically Ubisoft is very well known for. That's my main concern with this. Is I feel like the exploration needs to be more organic. But we'll see. We'll see when we actually play the game. But aside from that, I think that's everything that I got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me on your daily sign-in into the world of video games. Remember, you can catch us live every single weekday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Or if you miss that for whatever reason, we just go live on YouTube the following day, or on podcast services around the globe, since people are busy. And with the audio, you can just be doing other things while you listen to it while watching. Well, you cannot watch while you drive. Don't do that. Absolutely not. In many cases, remember, not only do we record this live, we also stream after this. For example, we have a Divinity Original Sin 2 that we're running in with the rest of the It's All Fun and Games community, so keep an eye out for that. Again, that's twitch.tv/It's All Fun and Games, or join us on the Discord so we can actually have a chat or a more interactive manner. Remember, I will see you every single day for your daily sign-in. And with that, I leave you with your daily sign-out.